before Osimhen came to Napoli, I was called. When I see you guys, I'm gonna show you guys the message. I was called by the same man who brought Maradona to Italy. And this man was the one that brought me to Italy, Gianni Di Marzio. You can check him out. His son is one of a very high-profile football journalist.
Journalist.
Yeah. Good. Di Marzio called me and he said, then Osimhen was having, I'm saying this in the open for the first time so that, because, some people don't know how close, me and Osimhen don't talk face to face or do anything, but behind him coming to Italy, my recommendation played a huge part.
Transit TV, welcome to Reggie Transfer Talk. Today we are focusing on Manchester United. We want to look at Man United's situation with regards to strengthening the squad for next season, players that are linked to the club. We'll also be looking at outgoings, and of course, we all know it's no longer news that there are serious bids and efforts to take over Man United, this summer. So we'll be looking at that today, and to help us do that is no other person than, of course, my regular brother Ugum on the show. But we have our Nigerian international, Kenneth Zeibo. Is a Man United fan, as we all know, regulars on this our channel. You've seen him on this channel before, so he's going to help us with a deeper insight on the situation in Man United. Ugum and Ken, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Reggie.
So happy to be here. So let's get it
guys,
on.
before we go on, we also want to remind you, as usual, if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscription button, notification button, like and share this video. We also want to encourage you to as well, share your opinion on the comment section. If you agree with our position on certain issues on this channel or on this video, or you disagree, whatever you think about what we're going to discuss today, we would like to hear from you. It also helps us to prepare, and give you better and more robust contents going forward. So we start from you, Ken. You, like I said, you're the Man United fan in the house today. So most of the questions we're going to start from you. Then we'll also contribute and give you what we think. Okay. I want to start by asking you my regular question on this show for any club. As a fan of Man United, what areas or what specific positions? Because obviously, if you ask any manager and you give them a blank check, they might find 20 players every summer, because every manager wants to strengthen their team. But realistically, what positions do you think that Man United need to focus on this summer? In strengthening the squad, considering the progress made last season.
Well, thank you first of all for having me. It's an honor to be here as well. And this is my second appearance on this show. So I just want to encourage people to keep on subscribing and liking and sharing. And my input, my knowledge of the game, I'm just going to judge based on that. So watching the last season, so I would say the first priority is going to be a striker, which is the main area that Man United was lacking. I can guarantee you, if Man United had a striker that is, when I was watching Liverpool, I was so envious of this guy Nunes, right?
Yeah.
What was his name? Yeah, the number 9, the one they bought, and his pace, man, is terrifying for any defender. So, and I remember I was talking to somebody. I said, if this guy, when he wasn't doing so well, I don't see that as not doing well. People, this is his first year. So when he wasn't doing so well, I was like, people, Christians, keep coming in, and I told people, I said, if they can give that guy to United will be okay for the next 6-7 years. The pace the guy has is something else. So if Man United had that guy for the last season, it would have been a different thing altogether. Man United played so well up front, transition perfect, but then you can finalize. You know, if you play Rashford, okay, as a top nine, he's gonna be okay as long as he's making that run. But his presence as a what do you call as a top nine is never felt by any defender because he's not a top nine. So we know that I am a top nine, so I know what defender want to see. They want to see your presence. They want to see somebody that's always there. Somebody that when they go physically with, they're gonna feel it. It's not happening. It didn't happen with Man United. So striker first of all, and two midfielders will be the best. Two midfielders because that way Casemiro has done a wonderful job. But mind you, every time Casemiro don't play, there's always that question mark. So two midfielders, a solid one. I would say two defenders. We are okay on the left side and the right side because we got Wan-Bissaka, whom I must commend. His second half of the season was he ended up benching Diego Dalot, I'm okay with our left backs because we have Luke Shaw and Malacia. And another thing I noticed, some people doesn't recognize Malacia because of his they might think he's an average player, but the heart that that guy has is something else. He's not afraid of challenges. He's not afraid to stand up to anybody. You see the way he go into challenges and on. And I know Eric, the coach, the Eric Ten Hag, when he's going for players, he doesn't go for players because of the skills. He goes for the heart, for the mentality to win. And if you look at Anthony is a very skillful player. He hasn't, we all see sometimes he try to show it and stuff. But you can see that Anthony he's like a beast. He's smallish, but he's challenging everybody. That's what Tenga is looking for. So, and two defenders will be amazing for Man United because of how many games they intend to play now for the next season coming. Champions League is not Europa League. Champions League is a massive competition. You got to refresh the squad every week, and the only way you do that when you have a good amount of quality players on the bench as well to be able to give the first 11 that breathing space. And in any way, real coaches don't have first 11. You saw Pep keep rotating all the time. A good coach have everybody playing and getting ready to play. You don't know when you're going to sit on the bench. You don't know what you're going to play, except you become somebody like Gundogan or De Bruyne. Exactly. That is never, they bring something different to the table, then you get to play all the time. But apart from that, everybody got to be fresh. So I should say strikers, if one or two, two midfielders and two central defender, both the left and the right side of the defense. So
okay, Ugum, do you have anything?
So do you feel? Yeah, let me ask Ken. Do you feel United the team is covered as far as the fullback positions are concerned? You talked about two central defenders. So what happens to Lindelof, Martinez, Maguire? Am I forgetting anyone in the middle?
Yeah, we'll get to those situations. Probably those are players that will be leaving United. I will get to that. So
Okay.
based on what you said, what do you think about United strengthening this? If you were to be a United fan, what would you think that the coach should do in terms of positions for strengthening?
Yeah, I agree largely with what Ken has said. I think that as far as the defensive positions are concerned, central defense, I actually think they are stacked unless they're getting rid of a few people. With Varane and Martinez there, I know Varane has a lot of injury issues. But Lindelof there, I think it will help. I think their problems lie more in the fullback areas. If Luke Shaw was largely used as a central defender because he's able to pass out of the back. Maybe if they decide to use him more centrally, they may need a fullback. Otherwise, they play him in fullback, and like Ken said, maybe get a ball playing central defender to supplement what they have. Where I think they lack the most is in the, you know what? I was thinking attacking midfield, but I think they also have issues in defensive midfield because of the limitations of Fred and McTominay. Their limitations lie largely in their ball distribution and their ability to provide a coverage intelligently. Fred has a lot of energy. He's able to get around the field, but his IQ isn't up there. And so when it makes him lack in terms of covering positions. There are extremely intelligent midfielders that don't need to exert themselves too much to get their work done. They know how to position themselves to cut the supply of passes. And then when they get the ball, the way they use the ball relieves the whole team of pressure. That's where Fred and McTominay lack, as opposed to the energy, raw energy that they have. So they need a smart midfielder that can combine defending with starting an offense from a defensive position. Ericsson is an excellent midfielder, but he's more offensive than defensive, and they've been using him more defensive than offensive because of that man called Bruno Fernandes, who is an enigma. He doesn't put in as much work off the ball as he does on the ball. He's able to unlock defenses, yes. Good passer of the ball. But I just think that for United to achieve what they are trying to achieve, win the league and win the best competitions, Fernandes may not be adequate. We've seen all he has to offer. He's excellent, yes, in creating chances here and there, but imposing himself on games where the toughest lie and want to make things happen is always a problem for him. He has an attitude problem, always trying to tell referees what to do, always pointing fingers. And for a leader of the team, you don't need your leader to always be ruffled and always complaining about stuff. You need a leader that should be carrying the team along, teaching others kind of by example, by the way he carries himself on the field. So I think they need something in attacking midfield as well to supplement Bruno Fernandes, or perhaps compete with him and get him to sit up, because he's very comfortable there. He plays every game from top to bottom without being substituted. Now they also need a striker, like Ken rightly said. Now the kind of striker is what I'm wondering, because you still have Anthony Martial there, you have Marcus Rashford there, both guys that are adept from playing on the wings. You have Anthony on the other side. So they probably need a point man. That's what they try to achieve with Vegas, but he's technically deficient to be able to play that role really well. So there are very few people in the world football right now that can fill that gap for United with the level of expectation. One is Harry Kane, and he's been deemed too expensive. So yeah, that's really what I can say about the situation at United.
Yeah, on my part, based on what was going on United before Erik Ten Hag came in, the culture and the kind of display we saw United team, show every week in, week out. If you ask me, I believe United need a lot of players, but of course we know because of resources, things are limited. So for me, yes, I agree with all you guys have said, but for me, there are 3 positions or specific positions I believe United have to address this summer if they really want to maintain their top 4 position, or if possible, put up a title challenge and go as far as they can in Champions League. First of all, like you guys said, they need a striker for sure. There is no, it's even anybody that hasn't even watched football would know that United need a striker. And the unfortunate thing is, now we're talking about they don't even have one. And for you to play in Champions League and play in the league, you actually need 2. So at least they have to sign a striker this season. one other position that is a big worry because of the way Erik ten Hag wants the team to play is David De Gea. If you look at Man United in the season that just passed, as good as he is in shot stopping, he also cost United some points. I'm not even talking about saves that some mistake he made with his hands, but with his legs. You know, he can cost a team points by making wrong pass in the middle of the field and also not being able to make pass when you are pressed upon by opponent, which leaves gap behind the midfield for your team to attack. So if you can generate those opportunities for your team based on your ability to throw, pin those passes going forward, it can as well, cost your team opportunity to gain 3 points or 2 points, as the case may be in teams, or actually lose the entire 3 points. So based on how United, I saw United try to play this season, I believe they have to address the De Gea situation because whether I don't think he's going to do better than what he's doing with his feet. Then again, in terms of shot stopping, yeah, in the past few years, De Gea has made some very, very huge, high-profile mistakes. So it's another area I believe United needs to address. Then lastly, in the midfield, like you said, of course, they're not going to be able to address all the problems in one transfer window. So for me, if you also watch United, anytime they play without Eriksen, with all the hype and noise around Bruno, anytime Eriksen doesn't play, United find it difficult to create chances. Or, like Ugo was saying, he's a player that is very, very intelligent with his positioning and the timing of his passes. He knows when to release the pass and when to use his body to come. Unfortunately, physically, he's not as strong as able as he should be. So each time he doesn't play, United suffer, especially the front players suffer a lot. So I believe United should look to find a player in the mode of Eriksen that can come into the team and either be a backup for him or give him a run for the starting 11 position. So for me, these three solutions are, for me, they have to do something about them this summer. So before we go into the players, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I had this discussion just earlier today. I would like to know what Ken thinks about the De Gea situation. I feel that man is someone that if he leaves, by the time he leaves United, many of the fans will regret him being allowed to leave, because if you check how many player of the season awards he's won at United, he's saved them a whole lot. But yes, I totally agree that he lacks in the area of starting attacks and using his feet. And so with the way football is going now, would you keep this goalkeeper because he's a big game player and he delivers, when it matters most, but lacks in using his legs and his aging? Or do you let him go and bring in a keeper that can play out of the back, but it's not quite as good in making game-saving, saves, point-saving saves for your team? So, Ken, what do you think?
Well, I was, thank you for bringing that back. I was going to say something based on that. I was really, listening to Reggie and about De Gea and Bruno. So let me put this thing right. And also, because others mentioned Bruno. De Gea, you see, I didn't include him, but if you ask me how many players does Man United need to let go, I would say at least 7, 8 of the starting 11, because the mentality of Man United is what matters a lot. The Man United mentality that when you play them, you are so fearful of what they're going to do, and they're going to play you all the way to 95 minutes, which is coming back little by little. I remember mentioning one in a certain group. I say the only player that I see with the Man United kind of mentality right now is Martinez, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, and Luke Shaw. Rashford don't even have that mentality, but I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm trying to show you mentality. Mentality is the people that when you lose the ball, you fight to get that ball back. Those are the people I see. Then I didn't include the guy, because he's done more saves than he's made some mistake that I can overlook those mistakes. The guy, held us in so many games that we would have been so many goals down that we were able to come back and win. So I don't think the guy is the problem with United. Not where can we find a goalkeeper that is so good with his foot playing from the back nowadays? It's hard to find. You gotta actually how do you say train them. If they weren't born with it, you gotta train them. We got the Barcelona's Ter Stegen, Barcelona. We got Edison, who is again that is so. I can only Mike was a Noah of Bayern. I can call about few goalkeepers that are so good with their feet, and this Brighton goalkeeper that is doing so well. Most of them are just the same similar thing. They try to do it, they make mistakes, and a lot of things goes wrong. So my issue on the guy is not the problem. The guy is a good goalkeeper. If not, he wouldn't have won. He won the Golden Glove in the last Premier League, right? So it's just impossible for somebody to win that if you're not that good. So the guy should sign a contract with Man United and stay. If they want to buy another goalkeeper to give him that challenges, then that's fine. But like I said, Eriksen, I can't even play without Eriksen. The only game I can play without Eriksen is when the game is intense, like the pressure, like what happened when we played Brighton in the FA Cup in semi-final, that they pressed so hard that Eriksen couldn't recover. Yeah, they were pressing so hard that he was all over the place. He couldn't. The moment you brought in Fred, everything calmed down because you were matching them.
Energy by energy.
Energy by energy. Thank you. So but whenever the game is in control, Eriksen needs to be in the game because the connection from Eriksen to Bruno, it's always one is going to kill the opponent. I remember the game against Arsenal. I think you remember the first game. The ball went from Eriksen to Bruno to Rashford to Tony, and that was a goal. So the connection between Eriksen, why Bruno doesn't do so much when Eriksen is not there, because United is just depending only on Bruno's creativity, which is in a game of Premier League like this, you need. Okay, let me give you Arsene Wenger or Man United of 94, 95, 96. You got Beckham, you got Scholes, you got Ryan Giggs. You got. I have 6 players that are so they can create anything. They're winning. Okay, Wenger, Arsenal. You got Vieira, you got Petit, you got
Perez,
you got
Kanuwako,
You got Kanuwako, you got Harry, you can create something from everywhere. So okay, City, example, Gundogan, KDB, Silva. I'm not done. Grealish, Foden, yes. Creativity everywhere. That's the way you win the game. That's always. There's not that any Man United you have only Bruno when Eriksen is not playing. If Eriksen is playing, you have only 2. So this is the issue. Man United need somebody. If Man United can get somebody like, example, I was thinking they were going to go for this guy, this Belgian midfielder that went to Aston Villa. How everybody overlooked him, that let him go like for free to Aston Villa is what I don't get.
Okay.
Arsenal needed Telemans. Arsenal needed him. Mine needed. It's about creativity. That's what I'm thinking about. It's not about you have Casemiro that covers. And mind you, we're talking about creativity about this. What about their coverage? You can think they only create. Eriksen, as much as he's not matching energy to energy, Eriksen is still able to cover space that Fred can cover, but Fred covers it more. than Ericsson. That's but Fred doesn't create as much as Ericsson. Then let me talk about Bruno. Bruno is like anytime Bruno doesn't play, there's no connection between attack and midfield. And check the stats. Anytime Bruno doesn't play, there's no connection. And I keep telling people, some people don't like Bruno at all. I know his body movement when he loses the ball, the way he talks to referee. He is I've known this guy all the way from Novara, Italy, when he was in the junior team. He's been doing the same thing. And I remember one referee telling him, "You complain about everything," you know. So his body is his body. He will play some game with some people that never stop talking. You know, doesn't mean that. But Bruno, for me, if Bruno doesn't play for United in any game, we are lacking that connection for scoring goals. And again, let me remind you, there's a game that United against Sevilla, right? And Bruno was taken off. I think we're winning by how many?
Two goals, and they came back to 2-2. I remember that game.
Bruno was taken off, and I told somebody, I said, "You take Bruno off, we ain't gonna score," because he thought the game is won, right? You know, we are dominating in every way. You know, connection is important.
Yeah, Man loses control when he's not there. So, but
exactly.
Ken, that takes us to the players that are linked to United, who can help United, solve some of these problems. But before we go into that, there is this issue of everything you're talking about United and transfers now. Everybody says, yeah, it depends on what happens with the takeover. United seem to not have the resources to sign big players this summer, except the takeover goes through. What's your feeling about that? Because with the takeover, EPL is so fierce in terms of competition. Other teams are doing business. They're not waiting for United to sort out their takeover situation, their financial situation. So with this going on, if that doesn't happen, or if it happens late in the transfer, and looking at what possibly Arsenal can do, Chelsea is doing, and of course City are always trying to refresh their squad. Liverpool have made a signing already. How do you think this takeover story is affecting United's business, and do you think it's going to be a problem come to the end of the transfer window?
It is. It is going to be a problem. Taking over is a nightmare for any club, and it's not that the resource is not there, but because you're trying to sell a club, you got to keep every account on, in balance for the person buying the club to know what's going on. You can't try to sell something and you're spending on the same product you're selling. Mm-hmm. So it's not like United, if they weren't taking over, then United could have easily spent 150 million without a problem, because with whatever they generated in the last season would be enough for them to go into that expenses. But the problem is that taking over means that keep it cool until he takes over and understands his account so that he can decide how he wants to spend. But then dragging it so long can be a nightmare. And we know what happened to Chelsea, We know what happened to Chelsea. Chelsea, they had takeover stuff with Abramovich and the American. Yep, it happened, and the moment it happened, the money started pouring in. And because of that, the way the money started pouring in, there was so many unnecessary buying that is, you can't buy every player. That's what we know. So I am hoping very well that the takeover should, just like Ferdinand was saying last time, he wakes up every day praying that this takeover drama is settled, so that the United can focus and buy their players. One thing I need to tell you is that if you in a transfer market, if you get your players earlier, better for you. You know why? Because that means you go to preseason together, and the players understand the coaching philosophy together. And believe me, I remember when a new player comes to our team, then after preseason, the coach is furious. He's furious. That means he's going to come to training every morning to train this player and on tactics, on things that he wants. He doesn't want that. He wants to work. And mind you, he's coming by himself, and the player, not with the other players. Still means you need to transform him to other players, which is going to be a lot of
disconnection.
Exactly what I'm saying. So yeah, this takeover is a big nightmare for any United fan. Believe me, I wake up every day, I look at the news to know. It takes time, but the earlier it happens, the better. If it doesn't happen, then I can tell you that United might end up starting the league so late than any other club. But I'm not gonna tell you that United with what Eric is doing, I think he's already stabilized the ship in such a way that they can always end up in that top four or fifth position because of the way he's organizing his team, to play. So
Okay,
that's
so
what happened.
we move to the players that linked to United right now. So I want you to, these players that will come up to what you feel about them generally as a player, and what solution you think they're going to offer to United if eventually they manage to sign this player. So we'll start with Mason Mount. That's it for me right now. Out there, the priority signing for United. They've sent in the first bid to Chelsea. Chelsea rejected it. So, and they're expected to go back with the second bid. What value in terms of numbers do you think United is reasonable enough to get Mount? And as a player, what do you think he can offer United and to elevate them from where they are now to where they desire to be? What is the reason why United is really serious and particular about Mason Mount?
Yeah, if you ask me, I have no clue. But to tell you the truth, if this bidding was going on 2 years ago, I would say, I don't know what they're planning or what they're doing, but because of what I said about the coach, he knows what he's doing. He stabilized the ship. He knows exactly what he wants to do. So I would say that I think he's trying to play him in the same position of Bruno, or if not, mind you, there's a game that Bruno played deeper behind alongside Casemiro, and he played wonderfully. Everybody applauded him, right? Because he was so deep where he can get the ball and throw the passes the way he wants. So I think they're trying to play him a little bit further up the pitch with behind the striker, which is I think is his Mount's best positioning. Or he can play. He's a very tough kid. He marks. He runs. He doesn't shy away from challenges. So if you ask me, I would say go with everything you got for Caicedo. Why go for Mount? Or go for what's the name of the other guy? Rice. Why go for But then we know Rice because he's the hot cake in the market. West Ham is going to try to hold as much as they can. And I had Arsenal's 80 million was rejected for you to understand. So Mount, I don't know, but as a good coach, as Eric is, I think he got his strategy out to try to use him in a very better way. And I think he's a good player, don't get me wrong. But I didn't see him as the where they needed to strengthen up his positioning. But you never know. These guys are coaches and they've been doing it for so long, so they know what they need for their own philosophy to come to.
So, Ogum, as an Arsenal fan, what's your worry about if United manage to get Mount? What does he bring to the table that makes you worry that he's going to make United stronger and more dangerous going forward?
Yeah, he'll help them a lot in attacking midfield and also help them win back possession. He works extremely hard. And when he catches fire in goal scoring, he can score goals, right? If he's very close to the 18-yard box or inside the 18-yard box, he has a good shot on him. He has his IQ is quite high, and he's able to use the ball effectively and efficiently for United. And so he's going to improve their team, no doubt about that. Mount is a good player and a hard-working player.
Do you see him in the starting 11, if there's anything like that? And who
I see him in the starting 11.
Who would drop
I think that if he gets in there, definitely Eriksen might not play as much, and Bruno needs to be careful if he comes in and offers what Bruno is offering in terms of unlocking defenses and offers off the ball work more than Bruno is offering, then Bruno would not play as many games. And rightly so, because if they're going to play Champions League, just like us now in the same position, you need a large squad of equally gifted players, not a wonderful first 11 and then there's a huge drop off, right? So you need people that are as good as people playing in the first 11, and I see why United actually, Arsenal were rumored to be after Mount
Yeah, he was
before
linked to
United
Liverpool
came
as
into
well.
the picture. And I thought about it. I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea at all. And that's how I also feel about Kai Havertz. I think that everything that's happened at Chelsea, there's a tendency, Chelsea fans are shouting and saying, hey, get rid of these guys, sell all of them, buy new ones. Well, they'll be surprised what they will see when these players get into other clubs in stable environments and see what they can do.
Okay, so that takes us to, I mean, the beginning of, even before the transfer window opened, there was strong indications that Man United was going to try to get Harry Kane. The last 1 or 2 weeks, that noise has gone down because Daniel Levy slapped, I think he did not even try to sell it at all. And if he has to sell Harry Kane, the amount that was being thrown out there is not what United is looking at to replace, to get a striker, which move takes them to Victor Osimhen. There are strong indications this week that Man United is looking at Victor Osimhen. I know we mentioned him when we were reviewing the season last week. So, Ken, back to you. Victor Osimhen, well, what he did this season that just ended is no longer news. Everybody knows his qualities. But the way United play and what United needs, does he suit for you? Is he going to be a right fit in United? And if so, why do you think so? What does he have that make you feel that he will be a good fit for United and also do well in the EPL?
Well, Seaman had a wonderful season, and first of all, I have to say congratulations to him. It's not easy to play coming from a French league and playing in Italian league and do so well. And he's done so well massively, winning the Capo Cannoniere. That's what they call it in Italy. Meaning the Golden Boot is it's not easy. It's one of the best in that position all season, all around Europe anyway. If you check the way he's scoring as a number 9, Harry Kane is a different kind of number 9. Well, believe me, Harry Kane will be the best fit for United. But nobody wants to deal with Levy. Nobody wants to deal with the guy. I remember Ferguson saying, his biggest, and that's why he lost out on Modric, because Man United was already tipped to get Modric, but because of what the experience or what he went through with it when he get Berbatov to United, he didn't want to go back again. And he said he regretted that ever since, letting Modric go when he could have, So Harry Kane got 1 year left on his contract, and this dude is still going to be there and terrorizing people. He would prefer that Harry Kane walks off next year. But let me tell you, nobody's ever planning on walking off free in a contract, because once your contract is about to expire, you have a year. You would like to, it's your future we're talking about. You try to extend it as much as you can so that you can be able to get a high-paying contract that will last another 4 years. Is the first thing your agent will tell you to do. Then you're trying to play to go for free. You don't know what next year holds. So you see what I'm saying? So he knows that part. So if Harry Kane tried to leave last year with everything, Man City, 2 years ago, Man City and everything, you remember that part? And what did he do? He brought 100 million to the table. He wanted something, right? He didn't accept it. And the moment the whole thing died out, he extended his contract, extended his contract with more money. And the guys signed it and stayed. Now we are back to the same drama, So, and he would want to sell Harry Kane outside Premier League. He is somebody that you can see that he has something against every club around him. He doesn't see his players going to any place that they're gonna, even if you know you're not winning anything, let the players go so that they can fulfill their dreams or whatever that you don't care about. But leaving Harry Kane away and come to Osimhen. Osimhen is a good fit to United, yes and no. He can play as a striker because that's what United needed at the moment. But can he come into the field and get the ball and distribute? I would say no. And that's what, if you see why the coach kept on playing Martial, Rashford, those are the people that comes in, get the ball and do one or two things. He's a Dutchman, right? He's from Holland, and you can understand how Holland strikers do. You see the workers, right? The guy that came in from, sometimes he was playing as number 10. He was a striker. So he wants a striker that can use his feet very well. I haven't seen Osimhen do that, in his play. Don't get me wrong, for you to play in a high level of football, you are good technically, right? But we know what we're talking about, the technicality of being able to have an open.
Yeah, it has levels.
Thank you. Levels is the right answer. Harry Kane comes into the field, there's going to be 3 chances created in one pass, right? From every angle. So these are the things that coaches look for. So Osimhen can come to United and play as a top striker. He's going to score goals. But the problem is that we have two left and right attackers that are always going to cut in to shoot themselves. So who's going to get him the ball? For people like Osimhen, if he played for Ferguson, he would have been like Andy Cole and York. Because you got Beckham putting the cross. You got Giggs putting the cross. Giggs doesn't play on the right. He play on the left so that he definitely going to make a cross. So you see what I'm saying? So the football is changing. So I don't think Osimhen is going to enjoy it. But he's going to, ask me if he's going to play. Yeah, he's going to play. The next thing I'm more worried about is the pressure that's going to come with it. Because when he come with the amount of money that the Allure, the Rentis is trying to put out there to sell it, there's going to be pressure as well. And in England, we know that the media, it's everywhere. Like I said last time we talked about this, I said, Bayern Munich will be a ideal fit for Osimhen because that way he can grow into that thick striking force that he wants to be. You don't want to, where the level he's put himself now, you don't need to come to somewhere that they will,
Yes.
It's what
happened
to
situation, yeah.
Lukaku, Lukaku came to Man United and what happened? He started afresh again, he doesn't want that. So those are the parts that I want to avoid.
I beg to
I was going to
differ.
go to you. I know you are anything Nigeria, you are 100% in. So let's go. What's your thinking about Osimhen? Do you think he's going to perform? He's going to be a successful project in United?
Osimhen is not a project anymore. I think that perhaps this time the Nigerian thing is playing in a negative way instead of a positive way. I know that I tend to praise Nigerian players, because I'm Nigerian. But in this case, this young man has earned the seat at the table. He's being grouped alongside Harry Kane. Actually, right now, it's him, Harry Kane, probably a step down will be the likes of Lautaro Martinez and the rest of them. Reason being that this same thing was said about Victor Osimhen when he went to Napoli, right? I had this argument. I said he wasn't, Napoli was a step too high. If Napoli was going to really challenge, Osimhen wasn't going to be the man. This dude is largely, and I mean largely responsible for Napoli winning the Scudetto. Finished the highest goal scorer, was a very key player for them. If this dude were to be Brazilian, yeah, perhaps Ken wouldn't be saying what he's saying, right? I know, Keno, you've played at the highest level. I respect that. I respect your opinion every day. But Victor Osimhen, mentality-wise, ability-wise, technique-wise, he is there, up there, and with anyone. If you're talking about dropping to pick up the ball and distribute, I think you should watch Osimhen a bit more. And you will see that he already started doing that at Napoli, doing that really well. He can hold up play. The guy is, because of the way he is and because of his style, many people tend to straitjacket him into that top 9, 18-yard box striker, right? Because he looks it, he acts it. But if you watch the games, really, you will see that he does more than that. He links up the play really well. You can give him a 1-2 pass. He knows when to release it. He knows when to touch it off. He knows when to control it and keep it and let the runners come. And he gives them and he runs into space. He shoots from every angle. He doesn't give up. Going straight, going way down the line, he shoots, he still tries it. He has scored, I think I can remember, 3 or 4 goals from so-called impossible angles last season for Napoli. This dude, this young man, as young as he is, comes to United, you'll be surprised because that's the kind of thing that Osimhen likes. You feel like, okay, these guys feel like I can do it. Watch me do it. That's the kind of mentality he has. And I think that any team.
For me, I think there's no question about his qualities, but it is now a matter of does the system United play suit him? One of the problems, like Ken was saying, Rashford, most of the goals that he has scored are not goals that he ran in and just took a tap. He gets the ball, cuts in, maybe make 1 or 2 touches against a defender and, picks his pocket. The same thing with Anthony on the left side. United doesn't play a system where there is creativity for the striker. That's my concern for him. It's not about his quality. It's not about what he can do as a striker. He's a finisher. That guy is a killer when he's in front of goal. But the way United plays right now, except they adjust it. The way United plays, they don't make. That's why their top striker.
Of course, Haaland. This was the same thing they said about Haaland.
No, it's not everything that
they said about Haaland. The same thing.
No, the quality that City
Mhm.
has is different from the quality that Man United has. Man United has Marshall. I don't know if you remember when Marshall came to United. He was bought for 53 million pounds. This was 6 years ago. That guy was
with a lot of add-on.
Exactly. That guy was dubbed the next hottest thing in European football when he came to United. What has happened? United, he's still a baller. For me, I like Marshall. He's a very good footballer. But in United, if you look at Vegas, as bad as people think that he is, I'm not sure he scored 3 goals this season. Why? Because the way the team functions, is difficult for a striker. So except Man United is going to really do a kind of surgery to the way they play, I don't think he's going to be a fit for.
But that's why the coach makes a lot of difference in the success of a team. Erik ten Hag is so smart. He's a really top coach. I acknowledge that being rivals of the team I support, I've seen a man that's willing to do what needs to be done to win trophies. If he buys Osimhen, he's going to make the team work to the best ability of Osimhen.
One thing you need to understand is, sorry to call you, what you need to understand is Rashford is Rashford. Rashford is not a player that's going to create chances for his striker. That's not the way he's molded. Rashford gets to the byline, cuts in, and he shoots. He doesn't have it. Anthony, that I have seen this season, is struggling to create his own reputation by helping the team score goals. He's not going to do much trying to help the striker to score goals. So it's going to be a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, he can come and he works. He can score goals. But United now, like Ken was saying, for me, United should have done, even if it means just doing HARRY Kane this summer, should have just been the right way to go. Just go, even if it's 200 million, just get HARRY Kane. If they have HARRY Kane in United for the next 4 years, they will compete with anybody. I'm telling you.
And let me help you with what you just said. I'm glad you paid attention to when I said it's not about Osimhen's ability to play and score goals is never questioned. And let me reveal this in the here for everybody to know. Before Osimhen came to Napoli, I was called. When I see you guys, I'm gonna show you guys the message. I was called by the same man who brought Maradona to Italy. And this man was the one that brought me to Italy. Gianni Di Marzio. You can check him out. His son is one of a very high profile football
journalist.
Yeah. Good. Di Marzio called me and he said, then Osimhen was having, I'm saying this in the open for the first time so that, because, some people don't know how close, me and Osimhen don't talk face to face or do anything, but behind him coming to Italy, my recommendation played a huge part. And if you remember, it was happening during the time of COVID. And I could have been richer than I am today because Di Marzio called me and told me, he said, Kenneth, where are you? I said, I'm based in the US now. He said, what? Why is it that every time I try to make you so rich, you're far away from me? And I said, what's going on? He said, I need you. What do you think about Victor Osimhen? Then he was working with the Napoli president, this president, and they were talking. Osimhen happened to change a manager within the time he was supposed to move.
Yes, I remember.
Just pay attention. So he would happen to change a manager. So because of a new manager, there was a delay in the communication. There's a delay in the communication between Osimhen and Napoli, and they thought he was going to go to Premier League then, and there are other people, putting interest in him and stuff like that. So, and he said, "What do you think? Well, tell me, because I need to talk to the president right now, and I need to know what you think." I told him I'm going to call my Nigerian boy, and he's going to tell me what I need to hear. He doesn't, justify because you're in Nigeria or whatever. He's going to tell you the way it is. So he called me. I said, for Napoli, for Luciano Spalletti, the kind of game, mind you, the person there then was Gattuso. Gattuso was there when Osimhen came. Yeah. I said, with the game Gattuso is playing, Osimhen is going to actually do well because he's a fighter like Gattuso, and that's what Gattuso wants. So it's a good fit. Because of Gattuso, it's a good fit. Mind you, if Gattuso wasn't there when Osimhen came to Italian Serie A, it would have been a different struggle. I can tell you that. Because a coach is what adjusts you to your play when you get to a new team. So I said, Gattuso is a fighter. Osimhen is a fighter. Osimhen will terrorize defenders. Please get him for Napoli. That would be he said, but then the money. I said, the money is not important because you're going to make this money. Get him because if you lose him, another person is going to take it. He said, okay, can you fly to Italy tomorrow so that we can go to France so that you can be the one to talk to him? I can't. The COVID restricted everything. He was so furious. I said, I can't. Everything was shut down there. You can't leave, And I remember when I go out to train, there's this guy, Chimobi, Chimobi that trained with us. Chimobi is a Napoli fan, and I was telling him this, and he was like, man, how do we get you out of here? I need you to get that guy to Napoli, man. I said, there's no way I can go. And I know how much that is going to be involved for me if I go. I'm not going to mention the amount right now. I know how much they were telling me they're going to offer me for me to go there, convince the guy to go. I told them, I said, if change the manager, all you need to do, work with the new manager. Changing the manager doesn't mean he doesn't want to go there, but that the new manager wants to see that whatever the old manager is going to get, he's going to get it if you work with him. So work with him, promise him more. And they ended up paying more to get Osimhen to Italy. It wasn't what they wanted to pay. It wasn't them, ended up asking for more, and they paid. And the end of the whole thing, the amount paid was worth every dime. So just for me to put this out in the open for everyone to know that I love Osimhen. I have no doubt who Osimhen is. This is his second year in Napoli, Italy. Right? In Italy. And the first year he came, he wasn't that spectacular, but he played well for somebody that is having a debutante season. But the second year was he exploded, which was he got somebody like Zelensky. He got somebody like
It's cover something.
Or whatever that is getting him the ball.
Yeah.
He got somebody like they were all serving him. You got to check that part. So I do not doubt Osimhen's quality as a player. That's not what I'm saying. The quality Osimhen got he can play everywhere. But is he going to be okay if he scores 10 goals in a season? No. Because where he's placed himself, he needs to be scoring 15, 20 goals.
20.
If he doesn't score 10, they will call him a flop. And that's not what he needs. That's the point. For somebody that Napoli if Napoli doesn't celebrate, they worship their star. They don't celebrate them. They don't like celebrate you like him. They worship you. You become a god. You know, that is the mentality they have. So for the kind of love they gave him over there, they're giving him now. If he leaves and comes to this to United and don't get the same thing because he's not falling into the system, it's going to be a disaster for him. For where the level. That's why I'm saying if he goes to Germany, he's going to keep on building that level. There's a time you get in soccer, football, you do so much high level that wherever you play now, you're going to be okay. Eto'o did it. If Eto'o had come to Italy 10 years before he came, he wouldn't be Eto'o. He wouldn't play well. But he's already been in that level that he needs to be, that even his presence alone is going to create that way for him because defenders are scared of him. They're going to stay far from him because they know he's Eto'o. So that's my point, Aldo. Osimhen is a soccer, I said coming, Kanu played in Italy. He never won a Golden Boot. I played over there, and I didn't come even close to it. My point is, scoring in Italian league is never easy. Never. They are not as fast as English football, but their mindset, their brain is so fast that before you turn, they already every position whatever is going on in your mind, they're already thinking about the same thing. Before you turn, they're already in that position. So you're like, what's going on here? So for me, Osimhen will best fit Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. I'm not saying Bundesliga. Bayern Munich because of the quality they have around them. He comes to England, he will end up doing well. I tipped him you remember last time I said Chelsea because of Pochettino, the way he plays. He plays for a striker. He doesn't want you to go ahead. But for Man United, just like what Reggie, put out there, the way United play, you got two wingers that are going to come in to score their own goals. I never see Rashford making any. Rashford was forced to cross ball because of Ronaldo, right? You saw that part. He was trying to make that cross for Ronaldo, just for Ronaldo. He's not going to do that for us, man. We're talking about Ronaldo, and he wasn't doing it most of the time. So that's my concern, about, and I'm looking out for my brother. That's all.
Yeah, then
well said.
Lastly, we have not lastly. Before we go to the last person, Kim, this defender from Italy. I don't know, Ken. I don't know much about him, but from what I'm reading out there, yeah, it looks like he's a very serious, good defender. It looks like Man U have done a lot of work on that one, and most likely they're going to get him. So, did you see him walking into the first 11 with the qualities that he has?
100%, 100%. And let me put this 100% not because of I have any doubt on Varane. Varane problem right from Real Madrid is injury, And why did I say 100%? If Kim stays there, if he gets injured, he probably never going to see the first 11 again because then Kim is going to play so well. And you can't change somebody that is playing so well after so many games for somebody that's been injured to come back in. Varane is a wonderful player. I like him as he is, but we know that Martinez is irreplaceable, why did I say two defense for Man United? I said Kim as number one, and we need a left defensive playing defender. If you get somebody, I see that Koulibaly is leaving already, right? Koulibaly is a good player to play out from the back. You need a defensive. As a coach, I always believe in playing defenders based on their legs. You know, I don't want to play left back on the right back. I want to play. If you're a central defender, you're a lefty. I want to play you on the left. If you're the righty, I want to play you on the right. And you see when a lefty defender play on the left, they are more able to express their game more often. And I know you're going to ask that question later about Harry Maguire. But let me remind you something. Most of the time, Harry Maguire has always played on the left. And people don't get that part. You know, that would take away something out of your game. Reggie, you know you're a lefty, right? Let's just imagine you playing as a defender, you're playing on the right. You can just feel how odd it is to you right now for the things you want to do, but just take a look you playing on the left, which is your,
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So this is the thing. People don't understand about Maguire. Maguire used to be one of the best defenders in England because he didn't do that only in the Premier League. He improved himself at the World Cup in the last World Cup before this. I mean, last two World Cup before this one. So defender, they will get Kim if not, Bayern Munich is gonna go take him because I heard Bayern Munich already try to talk to the agent as well. But Kim is a good defender. He is a walker. He's a bulldozer. They call him the beast in Italy. So I think that's why he's looking for somebody to pay with Martinez. Or and don't forget we have Harry Maguire. They're trying to make him move. If he finally moves to another team, okay. But you need 4 defenders, central defenders, anyways, because just like we say, so many games to come, you know. So you have to keep, you know.
Yeah. So lastly, like we talked about the gear this week too, there has been serious noise about Onana from Inter Milan. Chelsea, I think, tried to go there with a bid. Inter Milan said they wouldn't even start any negotiation with anything less than 50 million euros. There's not going to be any conversation. If you come with 30, 49, they're not going to listen to you. And it looks like United are trying to meet that demand. So what do you think, that based on what we're discussing before about De Gea, do you think this guy can replace De Gea? Because one of the enigmas surrounding De Gea is not just the mistakes that he's making. Man United, he's on a heavy compensation. I think he's the highest earner in Man United, earning about £320,000 a week. United doesn't want to go forward with that wage in his new contract. Yeah. They've offered him a lesser contract. So there are two things there. They are looking at his quality, the mistakes he's been making, and his inability to play with his feet, and the amount of money that he's earning. Now, going for Onana, he brings that efficiency with the feet, and probably is going to earn a lot lesser than what the guy is earning. So do you think United should go for Onana? And if they do, does it mean that if the guy refuses to sign the contract, he can as well go because they have a capable replacement in Onana? What's your take on that as regards
if you get Onana because of playing from the back, I can guarantee you're getting one of the best in Europe with his feet. But where he's not going to make the same saves that the guy makes. I can tell you that. I watch. If you come to my house, I watch every league, and most especially Italian league because I miss Italy. So I watch Italian league, and he's been outstanding. For you to bench Andanovic, which is one of the best goalkeeper Inter had for so long, for you to come over and take over the post is not easy. So for you to play from the back and Pep Guardiola, you know, said they were playing like with 11 creative players when the way he was throwing passes. And, you know, that's what, you know, and some people understand it. Some coaches love it. Some people don't like it. I remember in the World Cup.
The national team coach sent him because of they say he was giving you hypertension.
Exactly. So some people like it.
So what do you think about Onana going to United? And what do you think he's going to bring for them?
Yeah, Ken said it. I mean, he's awesome with his feet. Yep. What I'm not very sure of is his goal saving, ball saving ability.
Not gonna give you the same.
He's not. He's not nowhere near what De Gea offers. But in terms of control, in terms of passing, he has no match. You can see how he
No.
plays, you will know.
Yep.
So it's up to up to United to make that decision whether they want to, bring in someone that can play off the back but cannot, keep up with the saves as well. Um, they were tipping either him or someone like David Raya of
Yeah. Yeah.
Brentford.
Mm-hmm.
I would Onana is more high profile, more
Yep.
flashy, but I
Yep.
probably will go for Raya because he's gonna offer both. And then Ken mentioned him. This Brighton goalkeeper still is still
Man.
underrated, still flying under the radar.
Man.
Excellent
Man.
goalkeeper, very, very
Excellent.
good goalkeeper, you know. Uh,
I watched him all
then
the time, man.
and then I also thought the Leeds United goalkeeper Melia. I've watched him over and over and over. Young boy, still 21, has massive experience already. Is somebody that I think the clubs that United should be looking for. You know, you build him now, he probably will make one or two mistakes here and there, but he will quickly, you will secure for the next 6, 7, seasons,
Yeah,
because you have a goalkeeper you can depend on.
yeah. For me, United should get Onana. The reason being that I go back again to style. Like, yes, the Brighton goalkeeper, the which other one did you mention?
Right.
Raya. They are good, but the way United plays, United has pace on the wings. These other keepers that you call, I see them, they make very good passes, short passes, their
Yep.
midfielders and stuff. But Onana can pin a pass to Rashford. And there's this
Mm-hmm.
saying in football that says the best form of defense is attack. Yes,
Yep.
yes, De Gea makes saves. Some of those saves he causes by himself. He creates by himself because of his sluggishness with his feet at the back. That's one. Two, if you have a goalkeeper that can as well create chances for you, no matter regardless of if it's the first 5 minutes of the game. So United can as well, because of Onana, be ahead 2 goals up because he can unlock the opponent's defense and midfield, which it makes it difficult for them to even worry him making saves. And I don't think that I don't really watch Italian League that much, but for this team to go all the way to the finals in Champions League, I don't think he's bad with his gloves as well, because if he's the back keeper, I'm sure they'd have gone. I can't remember any game that Inter Milan lost 3 goals ahead. For you to play against City in a finals and you lost just by 1 goal, I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper. Goalkeeping, just like every other position in football, is not just about the physical movement. Sometimes your position helps you take care of business. So maybe he's one of those keepers that doesn't really dive that much, but he knows where to be or how to communicate with his defenders, and that helps him keep his net clean. So I think for me, United should get Onana. I don't know about the 50 million, but the politics that he has and the way United is trying to play now, the way I see Erik ten Hag try to set up the team, I think it's a perfect fit for the team. So I
No,
think, go ahead.
yeah, I agree with what you said about the way they want to play. It is perfect fit. Don't get me wrong, but I want to, go back to what you said about not conceding so much. It's in most of the Champions League games, he wasn't playing though. The coach was rotating it. Sometimes
Okay.
Handanovic plays, and I watched every Inter game this year. And the thing about the Italian is that they don't score too much goals, no matter how average they are. Yeah, the positioning, like I said, they don't run as fast as you, but their ear is running 2 million miles an hour. So my point in that is that the defense doesn't let you score Italian teams so many goals. So goalkeeper happen to will make I remember our coach would tell you, say, you're gonna be on vacation all through, but when that save comes, please make it. Because you know that defenders, all the team are gonna be like a queue protecting that goal. But if it happened that they come across, please save that one. So my issue, getting Onana with the faith is massive. I understand that part. But mind you, Italian league is not the same with Premier League. Don't forget all the hassling, all the pushing, all the so those are the things that are going to be different. I don't know, or even, but don't get me wrong. Onana plays both with his right feet and his left foot. Man, this guy is the way the guy throw passes. More, I envy midfielders. They need to learn from his son. So probably the coach might, for them to come out and start going for Onana, probably said, you know what? I'm going to go for this guy. I want to play my game and be able to create. I have two runners on the flank up there. And I don't know, the striker, I'm getting my dear run as well. Let me throw the pass and use him. And among all the other goalkeepers, I will go with Onana 100%. No doubt. Yeah. But the guy saves are incredible.
Are crucial, yeah.
Very crucial. So
I remember one game. Arsenal had 32 shots and we still lost the game. Because of the gear. Yeah. So we'll round up with the outgoings. We already discussed the gear extensively. You mentioned Maguire as well. But there was one that came up that was a little bit of shock because of the investment United put in this player, the Sancho. I hear, is he Aston Villa or one of these teams?
Tottenham.
The Tottenham was trying to take him from United. I don't know what you think about that. The last two, I see Sancho as a very talented footballer, but probably doesn't have the mentality like we were talking about a few minutes ago. But do you think it's time to give up on him, or should United keep him and try to get him to where he's performing?
No, I think it's impossible for you not to hear rumors about a player. Did you hear yesterday? They said what they said, if Mbappe leaves, they're going to come for Rashford. So so it's a normal transfer rumor. I don't think HARRY Kane is even planning on entertaining that.
Conversation.
Besides, it doesn't make sense. Sancho is still a young kid, and you can see in the second half of the season he was starting to pick up after Eric gave him that
2-3 months,
exactly, for him to go and think. He's going to understand. Man United is not Dortmund. Man United is a different. When you go to a team, when you get into the team, that's when you know how massive the team is. Yeah, you know the mentality. If you go to Juventus, you will tell your manager, "Can you find me another club?" Because if your mentality is not right, you automatically say to yourself, "I'm not supposed to be here." You go into that event, you know that everybody that's entering that old ladies is going there to win. Mentality.
You're right. I think I heard Evra say something like that when he came to United after one training session. Because of the way they were kicking and the kind of intensity. He called his manager, asked his manager, is it possible for him to go back to where he's coming from? The man told him that, man, it's too late. You have to make it happen.
Mentality is what Sancho is lacking, and I think he's gonna, get to it. Football is not fly and flashy. It's not, Anthony is tough. Anthony is a street kid. So a street kid is different from somebody that is flashy, but it's not a street kid. We know that people that when we are playing games, those that are not street kids can never survive the kind of thing we survive playing Nigerian league. So you got to be a street kid for you to be able to toughen up. I remember a lot of players. There's a guy that was so good. He was playing number 10. We were playing under 13 in Enugu State then. He was super. Okay, flashy. But those are the kids that rumor then was that he was born in the US and brought down to Nigeria. And, all those are Djibouti still full in body. So the guy played number 10. When we were playing Ababa League, I played for Ababa. And we went to play Asata. Asata is where they have all the crazy street boys playing. The kind of kicking they kick that boy. After that, no, he didn't play again. That's the end of it. He never played again. He never came to train again. What I'm trying to tell you, he was so skillful. Okay, he was so skillful.
I understand what you're saying.
So what is happening to Sancho is something that is happening to this guy. He came here, see the way. Now he's beginning to talk. Anthony, if you kick Anthony, I remember Anthony standing in front of somebody that is 2 times taller than him, trying to chest bomb the person. What do you mean? What do you mean? You can't see Sancho doing that. So Sancho is now, for me, he's a player that's going to come good for United. I think Eric know that. And, I think these are just rumors in the market that's going to come on everyone and once in a while. Even Saka, I had who was trying to buy Saka, Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain wants to buy everybody.
Everybody. Yeah, our viewers, before we round up, I want to remind you again, so far, if you haven't subscribed to our channel at this point, we'll expect you to do so. Like and share this video if you have enjoyed what we gave you today. Now, for rounding up, Ubum, let me start with you. We have discussed a few players linked to United and probably a few outgoings and what they're trying to do in the transfer window. Again, adding the takeover coming up. As an Arsenal fan, what if United were to pull off these transfers? What's going to be your worry? Where do you see United, being come next season with regards to the rivalry, the competition, top four, challenging for title, and quality of what they're going to give on the pitch?
No, United have already shown they really grew in leaps and bounds in the last season compared to where they were at the beginning of the season. I thought they did an amazing job. I would only take the growth with Arsenal that Arsenal had slightly ahead of that of United, but that's not disputing in any way or putting down in any way the growth that United witnessed under Ten Hag. I think that they are ready to challenge. If they get the right players in, they're ready to challenge for the league from next season. They already have the personnel. They've always had a big squad. It's now a case of having a focused coach that's not going to play to the gallery. He's not one of the old boys. That's the problem that United have had over the years. The old boys running the system and doing whatever they like. And so you have a bit of an outcast here, or somebody that just has his way of doing things, and he wants everyone to toe that line. And that's what the club needs to move forward. So if they get the right players in, if they get taken over by Qatar, I think it's almost game over, because those guys, the wealth is limitless and they can bring in whoever they want. So we look forward to it. That's why we're here. We're going to enjoy the best of football moving forward, like we've always done, and the EPL and other leagues. And we look forward to the competition.
Yeah, so Ken, if your team manages to pull off this, get Messi Mount, probably Victor Osimhen, Kim, and Onana, what's going to be your emotions going into next season? And maybe as well, we can wake up anytime this week, next week, and here United have been taken over by the Qataris, or so what's going to be? What do you think is going to be the outlook for the team?
Just like what to say, top four will still be the best they can do. They can't fix everything in one transfer window, and we know there's financial fair play as well, which means that he can. I'm surprised how this guy from Chelsea is spending all what he's spending, but I'm trying to see what are his intentions from how he's planning to balance the book. I think selling off, already they reached agreement with Kovacic already with Man City. So that's money in, and the Mount, that's another money in. So they're going to keep, moving players. And don't forget that N'Golo Kante left already, which is a salary cap off. So it's still balanced in the book. So you can't fix it in one season. And I heard the Newcastle, they told the coach, I think he has only probably 50 million, 100 million to spend this summer because of financial fair play. So all those things, if you get Mount, if you get Onana and Osimhen, you still end up top four because City is way ahead. City got a complete squad, man. Come on. Nobody so far. The only reason Liverpool came close to City because they were challenging them energy for energy in every game. And when the energy wasn't there no more, Liverpool was nowhere to be found. So City is way ahead. I think that Man United is going to keep getting better. Even if they get all these players, But what I can tell you for sure is that Eric is doing a good job getting the team where United used to be, like the fear factor of coming to Old Trafford, knowing that they're going to win. If United is playing, I'm 100% they're going to win their home game. All right, they might not win, but the mindset that I'm going watching the game, putting it on, is that they're going to win. If they happen to draw, just like Arsenal, you don't expect them to draw against Southampton.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the mindset is all about what I'm interested in, creating that fear factor that people are going to Old Trafford knowing that they're going to lose there. That is all. Then after that, the rest can follow. City have KDB. He got Gundogan is gone. They have give KDB another 2-3 years. He ain't gonna be like this again. So every team should start building for the next 2-3 years to meet up, because City got it all.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. For me, United can be title challengers next season if they pull out this trophy. This season, they weren't far away from me.
Three people?
No, 4. Mount, Victor, Osimhen, Kim, and Onana. Yeah, they can be title challengers, because last season, the only thing that made Man United kept them away from Arsenal and the City was those first 3 games that United lost. If they had won one of those games, it would have been a different ball game altogether. So for me as an Arsenal fan, I'm worried about United if they add these players to their squad. Talking about City, I'm not the day we had the season review. I asked the question, what next for City, and what do you think is going to happen going forward? Right now, Gundogan up to this point is not resolved. Today there are today there are serious rumors about Kyle Walker leaving to, I think, Bayern Munich. Cancelo is not coming back. There is strong indication that Mahrez might be leaving. So United, for me, if Arsenal, Man United, and maybe Liverpool, if these 3 teams are serious this season, I don't see Man City winning the league. So if Man United can add these players to their squad, it's going to be this season. I think EPL fans should get ready to accept the fact that their teams could miss top 4. And it doesn't mean that they didn't do well, because top 4 battle this season is going to be more fierce than ever, because Liverpool are not going to want to go out of top 4. Arsenal is there. Man City is there. Manchester United is there. Then you have Chelsea, who believe that what happened to the last season is a blip. So they're going to do everything humanly possible to come back to top 4. Then Tottenham always around the corner. Newcastle, I don't know what they're thinking, but I don't feel they're going to be very serious with Champions League. But they're going to do everything it takes to maintain their status in the top 4. So the Brighton is not going to go away as well. You can see the way Aston Villa is threatening. I don't think Emery's target is top 6. I don't think so. So I think all these big teams, the fans need to get ready to accept the fact that we can still have a good season and miss top 4. That's my point. And that's my advice to EPL fans in the upcoming season. Thank you guys for coming today and sharing your thoughts with us on this channel. And we are glad to have you. And we look forward to future episodes in this channel. Thank you for coming. Good to see you one more. And to our viewers, bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.